It's podcast time. The Ben Herrera and Starlito Show. A Black River Studios podcast. Enjoy the show.
Good evening, everybody. We are live with the Ben Herrera and Starlito show here on Halloween night, actually, October 31st. Tonight we have a special guest. His name is Brian Everett. You're out of Holland, right?
I grew up in, yes.
Out of Holland. All right, here he is right here. Go ahead and introduce yourself real quick.
I'm Brian Everett. I've grown up here in Holland. I grew up on the north side, lived in town here for the last 30 years or so. Built my business here. I started working for a local business, washing windows back in 1984. And 10 years later, he retired, and I started my own business, and I've been working that ever since. So I've been here trying to figure out how to help Holland see better, and hiring people, from local people, and just enjoying life here in Holland, Michigan. It's a town that's very near and dear to my heart. I spend a lot of time in the performing arts here as well.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, it's all about making Holland a better place.
Yes, exactly. That's what we want to hear. You know, because us as our generation, you know, we grew up here. I was born and raised, so was Starlito. He was born and raised here in Holland as well. And growing up, you know, us as the Hispanic community, you know, it's gotten bigger throughout the years. And we always thought, yeah, we all grew up. We were all in Tulip Town. We all were. It was fun back then, you know. And you know, a lot of kids nowadays are into that as well, because, you know, we grew up in that type of environment. And so a lot of things of what people wanted to know too is, because I've been asking people questions, and is affordable housing. You know, what is your thoughts on that, and what can we bring to? I'm sorry. Excuse me. Starlito will be taking a night off. I forgot to mention that. Sorry, he just mentioned it. But so what? Again, because you made a good point of what you said before the show about affordable housing, and even affording a house in general. What is your thoughts on that?
Well, let's start off by defining affordable. Affordable, according to our mayor, is you need $104,000 to buy affordable housing in Holland. Given that the average wage for a family, for a couple in the United States right now is $67,000, yeah, that doesn't sound real affordable to me.
Right.
And we need to be working together with our other communities on making sure that we've got houses that are affordable. You know, smaller homes, starter homes is what we used to call them.
Right. Yeah.
When I grew up here, our whole east side was starter homes. The west side, yeah, starter homes. That's smaller lots, small homes that you could start a family in, and start to develop some generational wealth, and then move up to a bigger home. Yeah. So for me, that's the definition of affordable housing. And, you know, I think that where the mayor right now is coming from is just a little unrealistic.
Yeah, I think so too.
There's plenty of people out there who can afford those affordable homes, but not the majority of us.
Yeah.
And so we need to be working on how do we get those costs down. Do we find look at some new ways of building homes that will bring costs down? Yeah. Maybe talk about zoning our lots a little smaller for smaller homes. Mm-hmm. Talk to our neighbors and see if we can get the townships around us to start setting some zoning up that will get more affordable homes. There's all sorts of ways we could do it.
Yeah.
But we need to be moving forward on that. Just for some numbers, in the last 6 years of our current mayor's administration, they've approved 1,200 homes.
Yes.
The administration just before him, in 4 years, approved 2,500. So you're talking about 625 homes a year versus 200 a year. Yeah. We're falling behind at 200 a year.
Yeah,
so
exactly. And
that's something we need to move forward on.
That's definitely something that needs to be worked on, because that's the thing too, is I always see basically them talking about doing things about it, but then it never gets done. you know, or that takes forever for them to even talk about it again. And that's something that a lot of the people in our community are like, why do you guys keep putting that on the back burner? You know, why is that so hard to talk about?
Right.
You know, and it's like what Marcos just said, what Starlito just said. $1,300 for a 1-bedroom is outrageous. It is.
And it's rental. That's money going out of your pocket into someone else's pocket.
Right. Exactly. And so, you know, and I get like if it's excuse me, like a brand new house, I understand that because of again, costs are high. But if it's like an older house and they have to remodel it, I can understand that because, you know, they want to get their money back out of it. But if it's because we lived in a duplex, but this was in Park Township. I mean, Laketown Township. We lived in a duplex that, like, I'm not going to say the name, but he would not fix anything. He would not update anything.
No.
And, you know, it was a hassle because I ended up having to replace things. And then when we moved out, he tried to say we owed him money. And I'm like, oh, no, you actually owe me money. That's not how this works. And so he finally just stopped contacting me after that. After I told him that.
Yeah.
I replaced the refrigerator because he wouldn't do it. So that's another thing that I wanted to bring up is, our landlords here are awesome. I'm not saying it because I'm live, but if we need help, they're there.
There are a lot of good landlords out there, but you don't hear about them because everyone's happy with them. What you hear about is the ones like you're talking about that don't want to invest money back in the house. Mm-hmm. And they look at, when I was growing up, rentals were, you know, if a family had another house, they'd rent out one house or maybe a duplex. Right. Nowadays, rental is big business. Yeah. I mean, you know, 95% of those houses approved in the last 6 years were rentals. Yeah. I mean, we got units going up on Waverly Road right now that are incredibly expensive. Yeah. How is this helping a housing crisis? I'm not sure how that works.
I'm glad you said that because I was thinking the same thing. Because I thought that too. If you look at it from our standpoint, a citizen that's driving past those apartments, and we're looking at them to a point where we are like, oh man, those are nice. And then you find out how much they are, and you're like, I thought that was supposed to be affordable housing, like the ones on Lakewood. I know that's Holland Township, but you know, it's still basically still Holland, you know.
But and brand new, they should look nice. Right. I mean, you know, that's part of the thing. Yeah. And that stone look that they've got on is wonderful, but that's not real granite. You know, they've learned to develop that look. Yeah. Exactly.
So I have also thing too is that. What was the other thing I said? Oh, the home ownership. So you said something about it's harder for people to own homes nowadays. Mm-hmm. What is it that you can do, or that you can help with the Holland community to help people with stuff like that?
For home ownership, it starts with getting the costs down all the way around, from taxes that we're paying in terms of property taxes to the cost of the home, which comes back to the zoning. We need to develop a plan that creates those lower income houses, just because you need that to get them started. So the city can help by looking at how they approach these. Yeah. We're building houses, but we're not building them fast enough for how our town is growing. And anyone who's driven in town the last 2 years knows we are booming right now. Oh, yeah. And so we need to be adding a lot more houses. Yeah. Now, I talk about our neighbors a lot because as a city, we're landlocked. Yeah. But Laketown, West Olive, Holland, Zeeland, Park Township, all these communities, Fillmore Township, they all have land available that if we work together, we could solve the problem. But housing has been an issue for the country for the last 15, 20 years and more. Sure. So it's not something we're going to solve overnight by ourselves. Yeah. But if we have the conversation and start looking at different alternatives, we can. So it's getting people into the room, talking about it, and then developing plans to actually make it move forward. The solution is not on the tip of my tongue. It's on the tip of our community. Yeah. We all need to find a way to work together on that. And that's what I really want to do, is drive that conversation in so many ways.
Right. So on that aspect of what you said about the surrounding other communities, now and I've noticed this, driving around Holland, even in the past, like even coming from Hamilton, there's so much prime land out there, that, I mean, they already did with Black River apartments and stuff like that right there, off of M40, and it made me think, like, how come they can't keep doing that? I know it's easier said than done, but there's so much land out there that can be used for housing, and yet it sits vacant. And for example, perfect example, right there right across the street from the post office, where
downtown
that used to be.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Who even owns that? You know what I mean? Like,
no, that would be a zoning issue because the Pizza Hut is zoned for commercial.
Yeah.
So you'd have to first change that zoning into residential and then come up with a way to approach dealing with it.
Okay.
So, that's the conversations we need to have. How are we zoning? How are we going to allow people into the town?
Yeah. Because
we have limited space. Using land that is being reclaimed because Pizza Hut went out of existence, or the other places in town where businesses have failed, or things like that. We need to find ways to either open the land up for building or repurpose the buildings. Baker Furniture is a wonderful example of how we did that, and that was 25, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
That was a wonderful way to use the space, get a lot of housing in, and not change a whole lot.
Yeah. That was a good
idea. Right, but it takes thinking ahead.
Yes.
And that's a problem. We tend to be stuck in 2017 in the way we're looking at it, and the world nowadays is very different. The last 8 years has changed a whole lot.
Yes, exactly. Because that was actually a thing too. So, because I was thinking, because I know like annexing other land into the city limits is very hard to do because you got to have both of them to agree on it.
Right.
And so has anything came up like that?
The last time I remember annexing working here is when we moved south into Fillmore Township. Okay. Park and Holland and Lake Town are pretty solidly set where they are, and they want to maintain their sovereignty. Yeah, however you want to call it. Yeah. So we've got to find a way to work together and allowing them to maintain their individuality, because each one of them have their own approach to things, and we're not all in agreement. Hey, there's a surprise. Yeah. So annexing is not really. I don't think it's the way to go. But I would like to see us have a discussion about, can we find ways to work stronger together? We have the Makatawa Coordination Council, but it doesn't really have a whole lot of power to change things unless we get together with the other townships and say we want to actually change things. Yes. And you can't go after all of them at once, but we need to find a good partner that says we want to change where we are. Because, when you stop and think about it, when we say Holland, we don't mean the city. Yeah. We talk about Holland's beaches. There are no beaches in Holland City.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly. That's what I was
thinking. I mean, when I think of beaches, I grew up on the north side. I think of Riley Beach and the State Park and Kirk Park out in West Olive. Yep. On the south side, there's Lake Town. All of those are part of Holland.
Yes.
But it's not Holland City. So it's the difference between the lines that are drawn on paper and not who we are as a city.
As a full community. See, just like what what Starlito said, Holland needs to quit gaslighting the community to get what they want and calling it affordable housing.
Yeah, the words come easy.
Yes.
It's the actions. It's like I've given up on listening to the words because I can always hear the words. Yeah. I'm looking for action that moves us toward that, and I almost agree with that gaslighting to a large degree. Mm-hmm. The city kind of tells us what they want us to hear, and not what is actually happening.
What should actually happen.
I mean, there's a fine example with what's on the ballot right now with the Headley waiver. Oh, yeah. The city is saying we need the Headley waiver so that we can bump our maximum tax rate back up to 17.5, because right now the Headley waiver is doing its job and it's starting to pat down how much taxes you can do.
Yeah.
And they're saying, well, that's the best way we see to do it. But at the same time, when you talk factually, they admit there are other ways you could fix it. You could separate out police and fire, which is they always go to that. If we get our taxes tamped down, we'll have to cut services. Well, no, you can do special millages for it. You can get around the problems.
Yes. And
the city of Holland says, oh, no. We need the authority to be able to drop a 25% tax increase on you if we decide we need it with a vote of 5 out of 9 people on the council.
Right.
And now they say, well, we're not going to do that, but you're not going to be on council forever.
Right.
Council changes. Once you give the authority over, that's council's to use as they see fit.
Right.
And I would much rather have anything like that go through a vote of the people.
Yeah, exactly.
Anytime you raise taxes.
And that's the thing too, is that's a good way that you said that, because a lot of things happen almost without our, basically our opinion to it.
Right.
Okay, so we need to be able to, like they say, as a community, we still need to be able to have a say in something.
Right.
A lot more than what we do. Because we just moved back into the city limits last September, like I said. And so I want to be able to, we lived out in Lake Township. We were there for 7 years.
Okay.
And so I was always, perfect example. Okay, so when they were redoing the aquatic center,
yeah,
when they did that vote to expand it again, it made me think, like, wait a minute. If I live out in Lake Township, that's still going to affect me because it's part of Holland. And so it always made me think, like, okay, so how do we fix that? You know what I mean? Like, if we all get a say in something, then it works better that way.
Yeah.
So it's almost like, because I know it sounds weird, like an area vote. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we've done that in the past on a few major things. One of the things was near and dear to my heart. Back in the 90s, we did a vote on whether or not Holland should have a performing arts center.
Yes.
And we included Laketown Township and Park Township and Holland Township. And the whole thing was, well, if we're going to do this, we all need to agree.
Yes.
Well, Holland Township didn't agree. The city of Holland voted for it. But they said, well, no, since we all didn't agree, we're going to drop that.
Yeah, I
well,
remember
you need to look at where the agreement is and who wants what. Mm-hmm. And if there's enough agreement, then you need to have to start talking about it.
Exactly.
And what our council did back then is dropped it for 30 years. Yep. And so, it came back up a couple years ago with the James DeYoung site, yep, which is kind of what got me involved with this. Now, I'm running for mayor because there's a lot that needs to be changed.
Oh, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be changed.
But what got me was the city basically writing rules for the James DeYoung site that said, we're not going to consider anything that's a public development. We want only private money that's fully paid for.
Yeah.
So when we brought them a performing arts center, they wouldn't talk about it. It's like, okay, you're doing the same thing you did to us 30 years ago.
Exactly.
We want it. You won't listen to us. You won't have a conversation. I want that conversation. I'm ready for the city to say no, but I want the conversation.
And it's funny that you said that too, because why isn't anything being done about that? Everybody voted for it, and it's still sitting there.
Well,
is there a reason behind that, or
what the city did with that vote is they wanted the power to negotiate, and so they used a plan, one of the 3 plans that were qualified. And came to the city and said, we want you to vote so that we can have the power to negotiate. And supposedly they've been negotiating. Okay. But, if you want to kill a plan, give it to a committee to work with. And, here we are 5 years later, and there's been no movement on it.
Exactly.
My understanding is they're starting to work on something, but we still haven't had a full conversation on the proposal we brought, which was just as valid as the one we voted on. Yep. But because the city didn't want a public proposal, which to me, if you own land publicly, it should be a public proposal to develop it.
Exactly.
I'm not about handing it over to private people so that they can make a ton of money off from land that we've owned as a city. That to me is city government should be about developing things we need, not things that other people want to make money off of.
Because I know a lot of people were complaining about it, stating that they thought at one point that if it gets built, it's going to only be for like members only type thing. And I'm like, No, because they already said it's going to be public access, like to the water and stuff.
Right.
And so when I saw the layout of it, it made me sit and think like, that kind of reminds me of what, like, what's the name of that place? The one up there, the Macatawa one, like off of the South Shore Drive.
You talking about the old Point West?
No, before that. The
Macatawa Bay Yacht Club?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
So it kind of reminded me of that, because I know you can't go in there unless you're a member.
Right.
I've been in there. I've delivered stuff to them when I worked for another company, and that's what I was told. Because I asked questions. I'm like, well, how do you get involved? Oh, you got to be a member.
Right.
So I'm like, oh, obviously. And so that's what a lot of people were complaining, that they thought that that's what was going to become that.
Right.
And so I always thought, okay, well, we got to be able to have it as a community access.
Yes.
So, and they're trying to bring the lake to downtown, or the shore to downtown.
That's been a stated goal of council for the last 10 years or better.
Exactly.
And yeah, the plan that we had forward, that was all, it's public. It's getting people coming off of the lake, parking their boats there, take a shuttle downtown. You've got, our plan had a hotel there and a convention center. It's all used for the public. It's, green space for a gathering for picnics, an outdoor band shell facing the lake for concerts and things that you don't have to buy tickets for. You can show up in your boat and listen, or you can sit there so all sorts of ways that could be utilized for the public. And what the city went with was, no, we want to trade 17 and a half acres on the lake for 3 acres over here, and then we're going to build it. It's going to be mixed between, I believe there was condominiums discussed, and a fake island with an ice cream place on it and a restaurant.
Yeah,
it's like
ridiculous.
And a small marina.
Yeah.
They're not thinking big enough.
No, they're not.
I mean, for the town that Holland should become, the town that Holland could become, would be incredible. We are at the right spot in Michigan to really boom and to lead in so many ways.
Yes.
But we need to have people in charge that are willing to take that chance to at least have the conversation.
Exactly.
I've got ideas I would love to share with people. I have friends that have ideas that I would like to see shared. And then once they're shared, open conversation. If you don't think it'll work, great. What I'm talking about is not something that would require taxes.
Right.
It would be something where we have the kind of community that we could get those kind of donations to build something like that.
Exactly.
And I've been in some wonderful places like that up and down the coast where they've gotten together with a bunch of benefactors and said, let's do this.
Yes.
But you got to have that conversation before any of those people are going to step up to the plate. No one's going to say, hey, I'm willing to donate X number of dollars. You got a project for me? No, that's not the way it works.
Exactly. Because I was just going to say that, because you're like, but you still got to show them something.
Right.
You got to give them something to want to donate to. And so, I mean, to me, it's like, I even brought it up, because you have a picture of the band show.
Yeah.
I brought that up a couple of years ago of, we got a nice park right on the water. How come they haven't updated that? You know what I mean? Like, there's so much uses.
I can't have to know. Collin Park has, I'm sure there are some legal situations that go with it. When it was donated to the city, there are probably limitations on it. All sorts of things like that could limit what we do. I'm not involved with it enough to know about that now. Those would be the first questions I would ask. It's like, what can we do? What's available to us? Not what do a few people want us to do. What's available to us? What kind of options do we have for these opportunities that exist in our community?
Yeah. One thing that I wanted to ask you, because I know there's a lot of businesses out there that own food trucks.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I know Holland had just barely passed, or it was either Holland or Holland Township. One of them just barely passed where they are allowing it outside of tulip time, like during the summer months. What is your thoughts on that, to be able to allow businesses to even set up downtown, or even like how New York has those the sidewalk?
Yeah, New York does a lot. I believe that's Holland Township. Don't quote me on that.
Township.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts on allowing that in the city of Holland?
I think that it's a good way to give entrepreneurs a chance to try out something new. Every once in a while, you get somebody who starts with a food truck, and the next thing you know, they get enough of a following, they can afford to set up a restaurant.
Exactly.
But you've got to get a chance for people to get used to what you do, whatever kind of cuisine you decide to throw out.
Yeah.
I think having a limited access to do that around town would be a good thing.
Yes.
Obviously, you don't want them parking it downtown because there's no space.
Right.
But there are places around town where you could do that and do it on a limited basis. Like for the next month, you can set up here, and then next month we'll move you over here. Now, businesses would have a problem with that because when you move them, people can't
People
find
be
you.
like, where'd you go?
But you need to find ways to give these people a chance to try something.
Right.
I mean, especially as things get tighter and tighter, the best way to grow your family is to develop your own business.
Right. Exactly.
And food is something everybody needs.
Exactly.
And, we're all looking for the next great meal to have. And so we're willing to try those kind of things. And I think the city needs to be willing to do that too.
I agree because actually Marcos, a.k.a. Starlito, he actually mentioned a town that he lived in Oklahoma that was doing stuff like that, allowing all these food trucks. And it was good because it was in a park setting.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, that's a good idea. Holland should do something like that. Allow that.
Exactly. And to Marcos's idea, I do stand by my words. I don't use them flippantly.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they're going to come to fruition, but it does mean that I'm going to sit down and say, hey, look, this is something we need to consider. We need to be more active in pursuing this to see if it will lead us to where we want to go.
Right. Exactly.
And it's all about supporting the people who have made our town what it is.
Yes. And I agree. I mean, I agree that a lot of the community, like, again, Holland has been exploding because, in case nobody's noticed, look how bad traffic has gotten. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, just to drive to the north side, it takes a while now.
Yeah.
Where I remember it took 5-10 minutes to get to Walmart.
My business, I drive for a living. I can't get people to bring their windows to me to clean them, so I've got to drive in traffic.
That's true.
Every time I turn around, it's like, okay, now it's an even bigger backup.
Yeah.
How can we plan to better use this? Because it's coming. We need to be ahead of the game, and that's we tend to lead from behind, which is kind of an oxymoron.
Right. And that because that's a big thing that a lot of people, again, and I know because when I get on like Holland Informed and I see things that people are complaining about and why can't they do this or why, so the biggest thing that I've actually complained about is when you drive north on River. And you're trying to cross the highway, or not the highway, excuse me, where Padnos crosses.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's been plenty of times where they were crossing when I was on lunch break, going back to work, and they made me late. I'm not blaming them.
Are you talking about when the train comes across and traffic backs up back to 16th Street?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So my thoughts on that, and no disrespect to Padnos, they're a great company. But it's like, can you do that at another time? You know what I mean? I know they're working. I know they're at work. But it's just, for some odd reason, and I've seen other people complain about this. That's why I'm bringing it up. But one guy said, why does it always have to be during the rush hour when they're doing that?
Yeah.
And it's like, they can't figure that out. You know what I mean? Like, has there ever been thoughts or any talks about that?
Not that I know of. That one would take some serious discussion because Padnos is a solid business that is where it is and takes up as much of Holland as it does because they're very good at what they do.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But the problem is when you grow like they have and you have the kind of business they have, you need that ability to move things around.
Right.
And because they're located right downtown,
right.
It's a natural place. I mean, on 7th Street, too, coming out, the light goes on.
Exactly.
They got a train that's got to cross. Those tend to go faster. Trains take time to pick up speed and time to slow them down. Yeah. Excuse me. So there are issues that need to be discussed. I'm not sure how much we could do to change that. Because I don't think Padnos does anything to try to slow it down. But every once in a while, things just happen.
Yes.
I mean, you've got three cars on the train. You need only two. You got to pull it forward, cut one free, back it up.
Yes.
Takes time.
I agree.
Yeah, timing. When it's you waiting in line, it's important.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was like. But that's just something, a little thing that I know bothers a lot of people, that because they can't get to these council meetings and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the things too is, again, what Marcos is saying. Is what we've noticed too is a lot of the entertainment business and events. It says cut all the red tape for the entertainment and events. Yes, there are rules, but some of the red tape is ridiculous. It's hard to get something done in some events that we were planning.
We don't have a whole lot of venues in town. Is part of the problem. I mean, we've got a couple. The Park Theater does a wonderful job with basically. I would refer to them as a legend band bar. I mean, they get some great groups in there and that, but that's not a place where you're going to go and put a show on easily. I mean, you can do it, but it's not designed for it. And the other places that we have in town don't really lend itself to that too. I've talked to several people who do an entertainment. It's like the other problem is, what do they do after 9 o'clock?
Right.
Because Holland doesn't have a whole lot of activity for people who come in to do things here. Yeah. Then it's 9 o'clock. So what do we do? Well, you go to Grand Rapids because that's where the town's happening.
That's where everything is. Yeah.
That's a problem. We have to send people away at the time of night when people want to just relax and be.
Exactly.
We need to figure out how to make our town more accessible to them instead of being cloistered off here saying, hey, come on in during the day, give us your money, now go home.
Exactly. That's exactly the way it feels. That makes so much sense. Now, okay, so you were, okay, now that you said that, there's not enough venues. So if somebody was to come to you guys and say, hey, I got an idea for a venue or, something in town, again, kind of like how we had the area center back in the 90s. What are your guys' thoughts on even opening that back up?
I'm trying to open up that conversation. Okay. I mean, I think we need to look at venues. I mean, we bring people into town, and we have people come and play at the Civic Center. Civic Center is a great meeting place. It's not a music venue. Yeah. I mean, the acoustics in it are just awful. And we put a lot of money into that building. Yeah. But it doesn't serve our purpose. Right. We have to understand that one of the things that makes Holland special is our area. And getting tourists in here, watching sunsets only lasts for so long. At some point, you want to have something else to do. We have an incredible theater group in here. We have an incredible orchestra here. We have a dance company that provides dances all the time. They can't find places to bring it, to put on shows because there's not enough room, not enough venues. So that's one of the reasons I think a performing arts center here in Holland would be worth discussing because of the opportunities it would open up. And as we discuss it, we talk about, well, what are the possibilities? Do a feasibility study. Let's find out. Because things have changed a lot since 1990 when the city said, yes, we want to try this. Now it's even more feasible. Yeah.
And because my mind's thinking there's so much land downtown that's not even being used for anything. And
there's not that much land.
Well, there used to be. But
we just built an ice park on a lot of it.
There's a good start. That's what because I'm thinking in that area too. So that spot right next door to where the radio station is used to be an old warehouse right there.
Yes.
My thought was, I'm surprised they haven't used that yet. Well, I mean, what's going on here? Yeah. And I was actually living in California in 2006 to 2012. And I was still in contact with Mayor Al McGeehan. And so it was around the time that the City Flats Hotel was being built. And I asked him, I was like, how come we don't have taller buildings in Holland, because I've heard that people ask, well, where's all the skyscrapers? There's no big buildings here. And then that's when he told me, oh, they're building City Flats. And so I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It was just weird that there was an ironic situation. What is your thoughts about developing downtown?
Downtown is pretty well developed as far as it's going to get without a major changes. And we need to develop downtown. You need to increase parking, big time. And right now we're parking people downtown. If you'd have more parking structures, you'd have more ways to get people off the street, and you could probably do something that way. Yeah. That's down the road. We need to get everything else in line first. We need to have affordable housing before we worry about expanding downtown. Yeah. And we haven't talked about this yet, but we've got another issue coming down the road, which is electricity.
I was just
that's the untalked about issue. Our council has said nothing about this. I'm not sure why they haven't talked about it, because the data centers that are going up right now are stressing our system. We live in what's called MISO, the Midwest Independent System Operator. That's our whole electrical grid that we are all tapped into. Now, the city of Holland, our previous mayor, did a wonderful thing when she built the energy park.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Gave us a solid base to work here in 2017. Yep. That was a solution for then. But it doesn't solve our 2025 problems, which is how much electricity is being pulled out by these other people. Saline, over by Ann Arbor, just announced a major data center going up. Lansing's got data centers going up. Illinois has 220 data centers, 120 of them just around Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
There's another one going up in Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin. That's going to be one of the biggest ones in the world. All of these data centers are pulling from the same electric grid.
Yeah.
If we start building up Holland and don't have our electricity solid,
that's going to backfire.
It's going to backfire on us big time.
Yeah.
Rates are going up already because of the way data centers are using it. Yeah. It's frightening. It's like, this is something that I had a friend of mine tell me about this about a year and a half ago, and over the last year we've been digging into it, and it's like, oh my God, the world has changed so much that I'm amazed that our city hasn't stepped up and said, we need ordinances in place to protect us from incredible increases in electricity. Yep. We need our city to step up and say, we need a battery backup system that will take care of us when we produce. Because right now, our energy park is making us money. Why? Because it's selling it on the open market, and these data centers are buying it up.
Okay.
At some point, we're not going to have that available because the prices are going up because the data centers are buying all the juice.
Right.
So this is a major issue that hasn't been talked about. And if we fix that, what you're talking about for downtown Holland, what we're talking about for the growth and all that, it'll be sustainable.
Yeah.
If we don't fix what's coming down the road, it's not going to be sustainable. And no one's talking about it. Yeah. Well, not no one. If you listen to people in the know who work in businesses, industry, LG Chem has its own battery backup dedicated to them. And they could, if they needed to, they could use all the power we generate here.
Yeah.
So we need to be thinking about how are we going to prepare for this? We need ordinances in place to protect the people, battery. We need to be thinking about other sources, green stuff, wind, solar, those kind of things in addition to. But if you listen to the people in the know, they say right now, anything you can burn to make electricity, do it.
Yeah.
I mean, we spent the last 20 years deciding, coal's not bad, not good, and I understand the reasoning behind it. I think it's misguided. Yeah. But we've been cutting down our power. Now, all of a sudden, we've got less power than we needed 20 years ago, and now we're going to use twice as much power.
No, yeah, because there's
so we got a huge problem there, and we need to have people that are thinking ahead on this.
Yes, because Holland's growing, so there's going to be more people. There's going to be more usage.
It's not just Holland, though. Well, the MISO is 15 U.S. states and Ontario, Canada. It's a huge grid, and every one of these states is building data centers. Yeah. Now, data is anything, cloud, streaming, anything that requires data storage. And AI is sucking up the juice too.
Oh, yeah.
All of these things are what our world is now and what our world is becoming. Mm-hmm. And we're in the same grid with all these people, and with all these centers pulling juice. One of these centers can pull the same amount of juice as an entire town.
Yeah.
Right now, before a lot of centers come online, Michigan and Indiana combined the data centers are using more juice than Indiana uses by itself.
Oh, wow.
So these are the kind of issues that we don't really talk a lot about when we're talking about local politics, because we're concerned with how we're going to develop us. Mm-hmm. And we've got to be solid on everything in order to develop us to be the city we can be.
Right. Exactly. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of things in our community that we feel like needs change. Like, okay, for example, with our fiber optic internet, I was hearing people saying, "Oh, it's great, it's better than Xfinity, it's faster speed," and I'm like, should I change to that? I tried to find out if we even have it here. I mean, in our area. Apparently we do. So what is your thoughts about the expansion of that?
I bought into fiber optics as soon as they laid it down.
Okay.
And it is everything it's cracked up to be. The BPW was spot on with that. They laid the grid work for it by surrounding our city with fiber optics, and they've been working on sending that into the city since. Mm-hmm. It's cheaper. It's like, I think it runs, I want to say we pay like $45 a month for really high speed internet.
Okay, good.
If you're in town and you can buy into that and you're online for anything major, that's a plus.
Yeah.
The city was ahead of itself on that one, and I'd like to see them continue with that.
Yeah, sure.
And maybe even expand it out. But right now, it's getting the whole city wired so that everyone's got access.
Good, because I'm with Xfinity right now, and I have times where it freezes. Yeah.
I was with Comcast. I was so happy to leave.
About you.
Oh, that's right. Comcast, Xfinity,
Xfinity,
same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah.
But, I mean, to me, it's like, it's ridiculous sometimes where we'll be downstairs watching TV, and then you see that little circle.
Circle of death.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So, my thought, too, was it's obviously going to be affordable because, I mean, that's cheaper than what I'm paying now.
Mm-hmm.
And so, is there a way to set it to, obviously BPW is the one that handles that, but is there a way to keep those costs down to where they can't raise it every year? Or is there a way to
The short answer is yes, there's a way. I don't know how easy it's going to be. BPW is its own entity.
Right.
And while they're a part of the city, they take care of themselves. They're the reason we have a strong energy part. Yeah. They're the reason we have this incredible circle of internet. So their goal is to make Holland work.
Yes.
And they're doing a very good job at that. That's one of the things that really works well. But they push out the bubble.
Yeah.
And inside that bubble of Holland, we're wonderful. Mm-hmm. The people on the outside, we could be helping them too, but in order to do that, you've got to take another step up with what BPW and how far out they go.
Yeah.
Electrically, I'd like to see us build another plant to match the size of the one we've got already, or bigger, and do it on the south side of town, so that we've got extra energy, and then they can be selling to all these data centers and our neighbors who need electricity because their prices are going up, and at the same time secure our electrical future.
Yes, that makes sense. That's a good idea. I like that. And another thing too is you could also possibly expand the snowmelt system. It is. I mean, I know
snowmelt's a really interesting animal because it's different now because we have gas powered.
Yeah, exactly.
When snowmelt was designed, it was to utilize a waste product. That heating the water that was heated to make steam to make electricity.
Yes, exactly.
So when we put that in place, it was using something we would have to pay to get rid of, and all of a sudden we could use it to benefit town.
Yeah.
Great. When they built this center, they had to build it so that it could heat water to supply snowmelt. Mm-hmm. The further out you drive snowmelt, the more that you're going to need to do that, and the harder it's going to be to do that.
Yeah.
I think snow melt is a wonderful thing for downtown.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that all of our neighborhoods are going to want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Because there's a cost involved when you spread that out. The people whose property it goes by are going to get it hit with it. Hey, we just helped you. Give us money.
Exactly.
Well, I didn't ask to be helped. Well, we helped you, so
Yeah. Exactly.
there's a lot of good about snowmelt. I appreciate snowmelt. God, it changed the direction of this town. It's the last time that I've really seen our town step up and say, let's talk about the future.
Yeah.
And it took an entrepreneur, Ed Prince, to make it happen.
Exactly.
I remember the month or the months when they had downtown torn up, and the downtown merchants were complaining like, you're killing our business here. And as soon as it opened up, downtown started booming.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it's still booming. I mean, now we have the performing arts series. Yeah. But that's the same thing, same position we're in now. We need to be thinking ahead. What do we want in 2035? 2025 is pretty well set. You're not going to change that, but you can change where we're going to be in 2035.
Yes, exactly.
Just like he changed where we are today because of his thoughts about snowmelt.
Exactly. I mean, there's a lot of things, and like we said, there's a lot of situations that goes on in our city, and just like what Pat said. Hello, Pat Fowler. Pat Fowler's on tonight. Thank you for tuning in.
Hey, Pat. That's my cousin.
Yes, Pat Fowler.
She's a little bit biased, but she's right.
Yeah. And she's not saying it because they're a family. But let's see. Oh wait, hold on. I got to back up. Y'all should listen to Brian. He is really knowledgeable when he talks about issues. This man doesn't just state his opinion. He's researched all the issues before he speaks.
It's not just me researching it. I've got good researchers all around me that dig this stuff up. The researcher that I've been working with on this electricity thing, every day he comes over and shares new stuff, and it's like using AI to discover what AI is doing to us is brilliant. But he brings me new information, and we both sit there and go, oh my God, what are we going to do? How are we going to utilize this? How are we going to combat it to make sure it doesn't take us down?
Yes, exactly.
And I slowly, as I went through this, that's the issue that scares me more. Housing is today.
Yeah.
Taxes are today with the Headley waiver.
Exactly.
But the data centers, that's tomorrow's problem, and it's tomorrow coming quick.
Yeah, exactly.
I've used the analogy of, if you've seen the movie Stand By Me, there's a scene where the kids are walking across the railroad track bridge, and they hear the train whistle in the back. That train whistle is the data centers. And it's coming down the track, and if we don't start moving now, we're going to be jumping off into the river.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
good analogy right there. That makes sense. I mean, we do gotta look for the future. We gotta prepare a lot better than
prepare. Good word.
And Marcos actually has a question from a follower. City Hall had a meeting about funding. EBT is going to get cut, and Holland isn't going to help with funding for food. How do you feel about that?
With EBT getting cut because the people in Washington can't seem to get along, it's up to neighbors to help neighbors.
Yeah.
We should be helping. We should be doing what we can to take care of the people that are here in Holland.
Yeah.
I would like to see, maybe supporting the food banks and other things. Eighth Day Farm grows their own food here. We've got the food bank. I can't think of the name right off.
Community Action?
Community Action does that. Yeah. We need to be supporting them right now more than ever. Yeah. And I'm not sure that the city is going to be willing to kick that out because they're too busy building an ice park.
Yeah.
I would like to see, if the city won't do it, then we need to find ways to do it ourselves. Whether it's helping them buy food, donating to them, donating your time to help them, finding a neighbor that needs help and bringing them some, getting them some food. I've done that with a couple friends. It's like, oh my God, your cupboard's bare. This isn't good.
Yeah.
You need to take care of yourself before you can do anything else.
Yeah.
And when our people are hurting, we need to do something with that.
Yes.
I'd like to see the city of Holland help, but I never count on government to help first. Right. Government tends to follow what the people decide to do.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, I have a question about because and it goes back to the traffic situation. I know, and I don't know if it's the city that would be involved with it or if it's the state issue. But with local roads, that you get all these, and this is another thing that I've seen people complain about on Facebook. Too many people running red lights, and
Yes.
there's no cameras, there's no proof.
It's not funny. I'm laughing because I've had a few.
It's true.
As I've walked the town,
Yeah.
and I've been in all 6 wards.
Mm-hmm.
This has come up time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
People running red lights, and some of them have suggested maybe it's time that we put up cameras to catch these people. Because if we don't stop people from doing this, sooner or later we're going to start having some fatalities in town.
Exactly.
And even if they're not fatalities, you're going to take out someone's transportation to work, and you're going to put them in a hospital with a broken leg or whatever.
Exactly.
There are things that are going to happen that are going to be nastier. And I've noticed that, like I said, I drive for a living. People are always in a hurry, and oh my God, that light's turning yellow, push down on the gas pedal.
Exactly.
You just have to hope that someone's not going to be quick off the line crossing.
Exactly.
I think that's a big issue. That's an education issue. Mm-hmm. And I lean towards the idea of cameras to a degree, but what I'd like to see us do is put up cameras at intersections and change those cameras from intersection to intersection, and then put up a bunch of them that are not necessarily real cameras, but just to remind you, we're looking.
Decoy.
And if you run a red light and we got you on camera, we're going to charge you for it, and it can't be a light fine.
Yes. One thing actually that I was going to mention that I forgot to mention, Black River Studios, our company, is going to be doing a food drive.
I saw that on your podcast.
Yes. So
Recently.
we're going to be doing that along with Alpha One Music, and who's his name's Tito. He does DJ.
Okay.
He actually works with the Civic Center. And Trouble Sons, who's also basically what we do. Same thing. They do music videos, and they record music, but they're here in the Holland area.
Mm-hmm.
We want people to understand, us as a community, we're here to help everybody as much if we can, and we want people to understand and know if you got something you want to donate, something that you're not using, whether it be a coat, gloves, food.
Yeah.
Let's help each other.
Yes.
Like you said.
When I saw that, and I had recently talked to you about coming and joining you, that let me know I was coming to the right place, because you got people talking about that and talking about helping their neighbor.
Yes.
Now today, they opened their brand new facility.
Yeah.
That's another community that helps one another.
Right.
That's an example we all could follow. Mm-hmm. It's just when you see what people can accomplish when they work together.
Yeah.
It's mind-numbing.
Exactly. That's what we need to do, especially in the time where we're going to get there's going to be a lot of people that are going to suffer from this government shutdown. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, that's an unfortunate situation, because as people, like you said, we can't really go off of what the government's saying in a way, because they're too busy doing something else.
Yeah.
And so, us as a community and, fellow man, we got to lend a hand, So that's one thing that we know from what you were saying, that this is what he can do to help the community, is bring everyone together.
Yeah.
Because there's times where you can't even get into a council meeting. Like, it's almost like should I even be here? Like, you feel awkward.
No, it's not a real high on my priority list, but it occurs to me that our community has a heavy basis in religion. Mm-hmm. Wednesday nights tend to be a night that is a church night. I grew up in the Reformed Church. Wednesday night was catechism. Yeah. But a lot of different ones use Wednesday night. Maybe we should look at moving council to a Tuesday or a Monday. Try another night to see if that will free people up to be more comfortable coming down to see us.
Yes, that's true.
Because it's a change. It's looking for an alternative to get more people involved.
Yes, exactly.
And that's the 3 words that we came up with when we started talking about my running here was options, opportunities, and outcomes. If we can look for more options of ways to approach things, when we have an opportunity, we can get a better outcome.
Yeah.
But we've got to be looking for ways to do things differently. The same old way doesn't work.
Yeah, because it's literally, like you said, we're almost stuck in 2017.
Oh yeah, big time.
It's ridiculous. I mean, again, there was another project that was supposed to happen. I think it was through a company called Jubilee Ministries.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Jubilee.
Yep. So they were supposed to build something over by Collins Park and then over off of 9th Street. And it made me think, I'm like, why isn't anybody helping these people? It seems like again, they pushed it off to the side. I'm like, this is housing that could be helping somebody.
Yeah, Jubilee.
I know they're their own.
But see, they're off doing, and not. If you want to come and join them, they'll find a way to use you.
Right.
Habitat for Humanity is the same way.
Right.
They're off doing their thing. They're not doing it for to get in the news. They're doing it to accomplish it.
Yeah.
And they're willing to use whoever. If you have a desire to help in housing, talk to these people, Jubilee, whoever.
Yeah.
And see if you've got a talent they can use.
Right.
And there are many talents that are involved in building a house. Just like with anything that's worthwhile, there are numerous things you can do. It's not a one talent show.
Right.
Find a way to help them, whether it's financing or using a hammer or a saw or driving people around or there's finance. There's a whole lot of ways that you can help them out.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And that's about stepping up and becoming part of the community. It's about teamwork. How can we work together as a team to make a better Holland? There's my website there, Brian for Holland.
I was just going to throw that up there real quick.
Please feel free to stop in and check out the views we have. We're looking at doing something that is going to alter our future in a good way.
Yes.
We don't want to do more of the same. So let's find a way to change the narrative, and it starts next Tuesday, November 4th, with how you vote.
Yeah.
You can save
November 4th, guys.
You can vote no on the Headley waiver and stop taxes from draining your finances until the City of Holland is willing to step up and actually have votes on taxes. And you can change the leadership. You have 4 council positions up, 3 of them are contested. You don't have to vote for the incumbent in any of these races. If you don't like what's going on, vote for the challenger. Worst case scenario, you get a different approach.
Right. Exactly.
So if you want to change, vote for change.
Exactly. There you go. You want to play this? You want me to play this video?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Let's go to the video real quick. Here's a video from Brian's website. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Brian Everett, and welcome to my website. If you have any questions about me, you can check out all the tabs around me and find out a lot, or you can text, email, or phone me at the numbers provided.
It was basically just a quick, reminder that everything. I did little videos like that about things that are important that I think people need to talk about, and they're available on the website for you to stop in and check out. Website also contains a phone number which will get you directly to me should you have a question. We will be out tomorrow in various wards delivering some information, some of the stuff that Ben's been looking at here. And we'll be out again Sunday and Monday. Election is coming up. We've got the information for you if you want to see it. If you're voting, you're part of the solution. If you're not voting, you're not. I would like you to vote for me because I think we could do wonderful things together. But it's important that you vote, not who you vote for. Take the time to learn the candidates, get out there and vote.
Yep. All right, we got 1 more minute, and so again, we got elections coming up. Let's say it as many times as we need to, because Holland does need change. Holland definitely needs some change for the better, because there's so much things that are going on that it's almost like they're not listening to us. And that's how I feel that with you actually hear what people are saying. And you want change too. So, and that's a good thing. And so for us as a community, Holland is filled with different types of people, and we want somebody in office, or I guess it's office, in the chair, we'll say in the chair, that knows their community and is familiar with their community. And that's why I think you do have a good, a lot of good ideas. But from just reading this, go and vote. That's all we gotta say.
Amen. Vote.
So, go vote. And again, is this the number for the?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you have any questions, you can get a hold of Brian at 616-268-8602. That was the number, like you were saying on that video. Go ahead and get a hold of him if you have any questions, anything you want to ask. Because again, you only get one chance to vote, so make it worthwhile, make it count, and I'll be there but I gotta figure out where I gotta vote. I didn't get to vote the other time because I wasn't living over here at the time. But yeah, so I wish you the best.
Thank you.
I wish you good luck. Hopefully you win. If not,
I'm not going away.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. There's other things. What is your regular other role?
My regular job?
Yeah.
I run a business called I Can See Clearly Now. It's a window cleaning company in Holland. Mm-hmm. I've been doing that since 2000, October of 2000. So I just celebrated 25 years.
Nice.
I've got a full crew of guys ready to come out and make your windows look good and do what we can there. And it's given me a position. It's put a roof over my head and food in my mouth, and given me the opportunity to take a chance like this and run to make a change in Holland.
Well, here's a good thing to say. If you can make your windows look clear, you can clean Holland.
This is not an advertisement for that.
I had to throw that in.
I know, and I appreciate that. That's not why I'm running. I'm running because the business has given me the ability to.
Right.
And I was always raised to believe if you believe in something, stand up for it.
Yes, exactly.
And that's what I'm doing.
So much sense. All right, Brian, I appreciate you being on. Again, this video will be posted on, well, not the video part, but the audio part will be on all platforms tonight. So if you want to replay it, it'll be on Amazon, iHeartRadio.
Excellent.
Basically all the major platforms.
Yes.
So
share it with your friends.
Thank you. I
Thank
wish
you
the best. Again, everybody go vote November 4th. So 2025, remember that, it's 2025 now, guys. Not 2017. But all right, everybody have a good night. I want to thank you all for being on. Again, thank you, Brian, for being here tonight.
My pleasure.
November 4th, go vote for who you feel is the right mayor for Holland. And we got one right here. So, all right, everybody have a good night, and we'll see you next week.
And that's it for tonight's episode. Hope you enjoyed. The Ben Herrera and Starlito Show. A Black River Studios podcast. Thanks for watching.